Before we get started, we need to make sure we have the correct kit. We need the camera itself. We need the glass graticule. This houses the calibration artifact. We use this to calibrate the camera and also run the measurement tests. We need the reflective plate. As an alternative, you can use the collimated light or a light pad if you have one. And we also need the IsoClean, IPA, and lint-free tissues. These are used for cleaning the reflective plate, the graticule and the lens of the camera. Okay, now we have the required kit. We need to make sure we have the correct drivers. These can be downloaded at the Aberlink website. So we will go to aberlink.com. We then want to go to support, software and documentation. And then we have two options. If you need to download the latest software as well, you'll download the complete package. This includes the drivers. If you are just looking for the drivers themselves, you go to the drivers tab and it's the Diva drivers here. So we say download and that will download the drivers. If we now navigate to our downloads folder, you will see the Diva drivers have been downloaded into this folder as a zipped or compressed file. If we double click this folder and then say extract all, extract, Windows will now extract all the files from the zipped folder and create a new folder within the same downloads file. We now have the unzipped folder here. So if we open this up, the drivers folders that we need are the 026. This is for the light ring on the camera. And the Diva 028, that is for the camera itself. So when we go to the next stage of connecting the camera and we need to install each individual driver, it's these two folders that we need to be aware of. As the camera is a USB device, we firstly need to connect it before we can install the drivers. To connect it, we firstly need to remove the probe head. The camera and probe head share the same connection on the quill plate. We have the three magnets which hold it in place, and it locates on the three balls. The easiest way to do this is to pivot on the front two balls, so you're rolling it away like this and connecting on like this. So let's remove the probe plate. So again, we roll forward, removing the probe away. This can sit away from the connection. And we do the same in reverse for the camera. Offer it up to the quill plate, roll it forward, and away we go. We now need to install the drivers. To do this, right click on the Start menu and select Device Manager. From here, the light ring and camera, being USB devices, should be stored under the Universal Serial Bus Controller option. So here we go. Now, the camera and light ring sometimes can install their own drivers if there's legacy drivers on the system you're using, but occasionally the Windows system doesn't actually know what the device is. So you can see it already has found drivers for the camera, but the light ring up here, it doesn't have the drivers correctly installed, and Windows has put it under other devices. This is quite common the first time you connect the camera to a brand new system. All we need to do is install the drivers, and this should resolve with the light ring and camera both being housed under the same Universal Serial Bus Controllers tab. Let's start with the camera. So we right click and say Update Driver. Browse my computer for drivers. We say Browse, and we are going to point it to the Downloads folder that we were discussing earlier. So this is the folder, and again the camera is the 028, so we say 028 OK next, and that will install the drivers. So that has successfully been completed. Close, and then we find the light ring in the other devices tab, right click, update driver, browse my computer for drivers, browse, and this one we pointed to the 026 folder, 026. OK, next, installing drivers. Windows has successfully updated your drivers for the light ring. Close, and you see they are both now housed in the correct Universal Serial Bus Controllers tab. We are now ready to remove the camera, swap back to the probe, and then we can boot up Aberlink. We now need to switch back to the probe before we can boot up Aberlink and add the camera offset. So let's go ahead and remove the camera. Again, roll it forward, pivoting on the front two pins, and do the reverse for the touch probe. And now we can boot up Aberlink and add the offset into Probe Manager. Before we can get the camera set up, there are a few things we need to configure in the Aberlink software. To start with, we need to go to Settings, hit the gear icon, and we need to switch the vision option on within the software. To do this, we need to go into the tech settings. So we click tech. Tech code is 2.718. This opens up the tech settings, and we need to go to the options part of the tree and make sure that features and vision option on is ticked. We apply those changes, so ignore this and then hit the green tick. We also need to build an offset for the camera within Probe Manager. To do this, go to Probe Setup, which opens Probe Manager, and we can say build new probe, and we will select whichever camera we are using. In this example, we are using a standard camera. If you have a 2x zoom, select the 2x. So camera, add green tick, and then we are ready to reboot the software now and move on to the next stage of the video tutorial, as the initial setup is now complete.